Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we are back with a match preview. Today's match preview is for the Monday Night Football, the big blockbuster Monday Night Football that is Everton versus Burnley. This is a game that I think will be interesting from a tactical point of view. I've not got much hopes that it will be one for the neutrals, as they say. But it'll be interesting tactically. I believe we are quite low down in average possession. I think we're like 37th, 37% average possession. And I think Burnley are rock bottom. So it's two teams that at the start of the season are more direct. I think we play similar styles, in all honesty. It's direct, it's compact, you win the ball and you move it forward. I think we're a bit quicker than Burnley and we have quicker and a better quality of players to push the ball forward and cross it into Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison and Demarai Gray. But similar sort of, it's not about the possession, it's about what you do with it, which, by the way, that isn't a knock. Saying that it's not possessive football doesn't mean it's bad football. The way we've been playing recently and how fast and direct we've been is one of the more entertaining ways I've seen us play in the last couple of years. It's end to end. Well, it's very direct. It's end to end, but you ideally don't want it to be too to your end. But it's been exciting, and I can't knock it. So when I say low possessive, don't assume I'm putting a negative connotation on there. I'm just saying how it is. But that doesn't mean it's rubbish to watch. It's actually been really entertaining and fun to watch. We do play Burnley, who are 18th in the Premier League as of filming this video, and we are, as of filming, 8th. 7 points, joint with Liverpool, just behind by 1 goal, and 1 behind West Ham and 2 behind Tottenham and Brighton, who are in 5th and 4th respectively, in those European spots which you'd hope we'd get. You'd also hope we push for the Europa Conference this year, ideally, hopefully, you never know. Yeah, it's not been the greatest start from Burnley in terms of their matches. They lost against Brighton at the opening day. They lost to Liverpool, and then they drew with Newcastle in the league, and then drew with in League Cup, and then drew with Leeds in the league. Nearly stumbled then. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's only a point for Dyche's men. Liverpool was always going to be a tough game for them, and from what I saw of it, I didn't watch it, but from the clips I saw, it was a very physical game. I think I saw Ashley Barnes, I think it was, absolutely lob Harvey Elliott on the floor. So they're quite a physical team as well. The only problem is Chris Wood is quite physical. I'm a little bit worried about how our centre-backs will cope with him. I'm praying it's Godfrey and Mina, but I think it will be Mina and Keane. Just because you've got to play Mina. He's a big lad, he's physically imposing, and Chris Wood's going to be physically imposing. We need a centre-back that can sort of combat that. Looking at how Burnley have gone this year, obviously, like I said, they lost 2-1 to Brighton in the opening game. They had 36% possession, but had the same amount of shots as Brighton did, with 14. And they had a 1.4 XG to Brighton's 1.7. Tarkowski getting the goal as well for them. And then moving on, they lost to Liverpool. You can imagine they didn't have much possession in this game. They had 34 with 9 shots to Liverpool's 27. So they really did take quite a hammer into Liverpool. But obviously the quality that Liverpool had, it was always going to be a tough game for Burnley. And then their draw over Leeds. Obviously Chris Wood got the goal and Bamford got a goal later on. Leeds dominated possession again. But in terms of the shots, both had 12 each. Expected goals was 1.5 to Burnley, 1.53 to Leeds. So Leeds only had a 0.03% higher XG, which, if you don't know, is like the realistic odds of the shot going in from where the shot was taken, the possibility of it leading to a goal. So the chances they had were quite even, and they were quite even in terms of quality of chances. They both had 2 big chances. Burnley actually created more chances than Leeds. So and when we talked to Joe from Turfcast, which if you haven't watched, you can go check that out on the channel, he actually said that, you know, he felt they were quite unlucky to lose that, and that they sort of went to protect the lead once they'd scored, and sort of invited the Leeds pressure on. Obviously I think we were quite unlucky to draw with Leeds as well, because it was a mistake, one of their goals. So, you know, obviously Leeds are Leeds as well. But I think it'd be quite interesting to see how we combat them, because they will, you'd assume it would lead to us having more of the ball this time, which is something we haven't had an awful lot of recently under Benitez. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with the ball when we have the majority. Obviously against Southampton we had 48, which isn't bad. You know, that's not bad. That's about fair, 48 to 52. Then obviously against Leeds we had 30% possession, which is, you know, quite low. And then against Brighton we had 34. But so exactly similar to Burnley. Only difference is we managed to beat Brighton. A draw against Leeds, a draw against Leeds. Obviously they haven't played Southampton, so you can't compare those two. But for the Brighton game, you can compare them to both against Brighton. Brighton, obviously, a very possessive style of play, dominated it. We actually had better XG than Brighton, which is surprising because they were the XG kings last year. And we created the same amount of chances. So it'll be a very interesting game in terms of the tactics, the possession, who's going to have more. I imagine we will have more of the ball, and being at home, you'd expect that. So I'm quite interested to see what we do with it. Benitez wants it to be direct and quick. I imagine a lot of chances created for us then, if Burnley are just going to sit back and allow it. But I don't know if Burnley are going to press further up the field and try and cause an upset. Obviously, that isn't from the realms of impossibility, because, like I said, me and Joe spoke from Turfcast. It was a really good talk. I'd recommend you go check it out. But he actually was very happy to bring up that they actually beat us last year at Goodison Park 2-1. And obviously we drew at Turf Moor. Calvert-Lewin getting the goal, Brady scoring at Turf Moor. And then obviously at Goodison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin again, Chris Wood and Dwight McNeil with the stunner. I think they're the two danger men in all of this. You've got to watch Chris Wood because I think he'll bully our centre-backs. And you've got to watch Dwight McNeil. You've got to watch him. And it'll be interesting to see against Dwight McNeil what he's like, because we were obviously heavily linked with Dwight McNeil over the summer. And that link caused, I think it's fair to say, some debates. You saw people saying he was wonderful, good player. I actually really like him. I think the way he plays for Burnley as well, in crossing it in to a big lad, I think he'd suit this style for us. I actually really like Dwight McNeil, but you had some people saying he's too slow. I don't think he is slow. Joe said he's not fast, but he's not slow. And I've got a friend who's a Burnley fan who says he's not slow. I think he's one of those, a bit like Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez isn't fast, he just knows how to move the ball to make it look deceivingly like he is. I think Dwight McNeil is just very clever on the ball, short bursts of pace to get past people, but he's not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's, Chukwueze who we're linked with, or he's not like, some of the faster players in the league, the likes of Timo Werner who've got pace to burn, Sadio Mane from Liverpool's got pace to burn. But he is a good player, and he's certainly one to watch, and I think it'll be good to see him, especially because I don't think the links have died down with us and him. I think if Benitez had his way, we'll go after him in January or at least the summer. So it'll be interesting to see it, because I think Dwight McNeil's one of those that we're going to press and press till either we or somebody else gets him. Looking at the head-to-heads though, we've won 6 of our games with Burnley. They've won 5 and we drew 1. So we're just tipping it with 1. Obviously, people will remember the Burnley game a couple of years back. I think it was in like 2018 on Boxing Day, where we beat them 5-1 at Turf Moor, which was fantastic. Yerry Mina, Digne, Richarlison got some goals as well. It was a good, really, really good result. And obviously, I think we played them again on Boxing Day this year at Turf Moor. So, fingers crossed, history repeats itself. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, obviously, Burnley are no slouches. They're a very good team. Joe said from Turfcast, it's about survival every year, the underdogs. But I actually really like Burnley, and I don't think they are in trouble this season. Sean Dyche is a very astute manager. He knows how to get the best out of his team. Burnley are always that sort of, it doesn't matter about the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog type of team. Like Joe said on it, they're underdogs, but you can't help but, like them because they work hard, their players work hard. Joe mentioned he hopes they press a little bit further from the front, because that's what they did against us at Goodison last year and it got them results. Obviously, as we're Everton, we hope they don't do that. They just sit back and let us absolutely hammer them. But it'll be interesting. And again, I mentioned Chris Wood with our centre-backs, but Calvert-Lewin's going to be against Ben Mee. and he's probably going to be against Tarkowski, who are two very, very good centre-backs, so it'll be a tough test for him as well. In terms of how we're going to lay out, I hope we do it in the 4-4-2, but I can see us doing the 4-2-3-1 with Richarlison just off. I hope it's a 4-4-2 with Richarlison and DCL up front, and then I think we'll have Gray, Iwobi, Decore and Allen in the middle. Denye, I think he'll go Keane and Mina, but I'm hoping he does Godfrey. Seamus Coleman had a knock. His return is doubtful. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ben Godfrey there, in all honesty, or John Joe Kenny. I hope Ben Godfrey, just to see what he's like. And Jordan Pickford in goal. Burnley, I can imagine going Wood, Barnes, McNeil, Brownhill, Westwood. They'll probably go with Gudmundsson, and then Taylor, Mead, Tarkowski, Loughton and Pope. They obviously signed Cornet, but I don't think we'll see him, as Deitch has sort of hinted that. Same with Roberts. I don't think we'll see Connor Roberts either, because he has a knock. In terms of us, the only new debutant, or two big names of will they won't they, would be Solomon Rondon, who I think will probably I was going to say he might make the bench, but if he's been to Venezuela, I think he might make the bench. I'm a bit confused about the quarantine and if he went for Venezuela or not, but I think he'll make the bench if obviously he's not, legally has to not be there for COVID regulations. And James Rodriguez, who I don't think we will see, just because Raf has said that he's not at the fitness that he wants him to be. And I hope it is just that the fitness isn't there, because that's not going to surprise any of us, I don't think. Because he's a really good player, and I'd like to see him in that number 10 role if Rafa's going to play the 4-2-3-1. But this Rafa, James Rodriguez, Everton saga, I don't think he's near an end yet, so we'll have to wait and see on that. I'd like him to just play one more time for Everton, just to show what he can do, and then I think the manager would have to play him then for the quality. But that's a different debate. We're here for a preview of Burnley Everton. So like I said, I think it'll be tough. I think in my ideal world we'd line up in a 4-4-2. I think Burnley are going to line up in a 4-4-2. And I'm just really interested in how we line up in it, in terms of what we're going to do with most of the ball. I think we're still going to play this quick, get the ball forward, get balls into the box, and hope Dominic Calvert-Lewin can get on the end of them. I don't think, I've said this, I don't think it'll be one for the neutrals. I don't think it'll be one of the most watched Monday night footballs. Just because it's, neutrals aren't going to watch Burnley Everton, but I'm looking forward to it. It's back at Goodison Park. I think it's going to be 1-0 to us. I've seen a couple say 2-1, 2-0. I think it'll be 1-0. I can't see it being a goal galore, a goal bonanza type game. I think there'll be one goal in it. But I do think we'll create chances. I just think Burnley will be very hard to break down, which is why I'm only going with the one goal. But you never know. Hopefully a 4-0 win would really push us on. It gets us into a European spot, and we can keep this good momentum going for as long as we can. Because there's no lies, there's no secrets here. The squad is slightly depleted in some areas, right back, left back, and the longer the season goes on, I think that might be our downfall for the season. It won't be. I don't think it'll be the manager. I think it'll be the squad's depth in key areas for our play. Everton have always played with wing backs, and I think if we take those out of the team, we struggle slightly. But we'll have to wait and see. But a couple of wins, rack them up now, and then if we go through a purple patch, it won't matter because we'll have racked up as many points as we possibly can. But I'd give my prediction. That is all we got time for today on the Everton-Burnley preview. Don't forget to let me know down below what you think the score prediction will be, and let us know your goal scorers as well. It's always fun to know that. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, comment, like I've just said. You can, if you want any Everton tops, mugs, cups, they're the same thing. Water bottles, key rings, bottle openers, scarves. They do all sorts. If you want any of the official Everton merchandise, I hate that word 'cause it's so American, but merchandise, you can get it through the Everton direct link in the description down below. It massively helps out the channel, and myself and everybody else working on the channel really appreciates it. So if you're going to buy your top, you're going to buy it anyway, do it through there and you help us out in the meantime. Double whammy. But most importantly, take care and come on you Blues. Hopefully a win on Monday Night Football.